Hi, I'm Cash, and welcome back to Cash Talks Football, where I break down all the goals scored in the Premier League. Using my over 20 plus years coaching experience to give you a different insight and actually explain to you what's really going on in the game of football. Now, one of the things that I'm shocked about is the actual standard of how bad it is in the Premier League of simple mistakes. Now, what a lot of people do is they get this sort of notion in their head and go, oh, they're elite footballers, they know what they're doing. No, they don't. They can still make simple mistakes. And I hear these things quite a lot, especially things like Talk Sport Radio, where they say, well, you've played at the highest level, so you know. No, absolute rubbish. They don't know. Because the amount of mistakes and simple mistakes and lack of understanding in football is shocking. And this sort of institutionalised, because they're there, they know. No, they don't. You'll be amazed at how much more you know than a lot of these professionals. Right, I'm going to come on to a simple example right here. Now, you think that Mudryk scored a good goal, but he hasn't. What's happened is the whoever's playing over here on the right-hand side for Nottingham Forest doesn't know anything about football. So for some reason, he's gone and stood over here on the outside, onto the touchline with the Chelsea player. Now, when you do that, can you see this massive pocket of space? This is where he should be, about here. So this guy can't play a through ball for this guy for Modric to run onto and score. That's what should be happening. But for some unknown reason, he's gone over wide to have a bit of a picnic. So as we've moved it on, this guy's over here. You still can't see him. He's still not in the frame yet. What's he doing over there? God only knows. Right, so what you're supposed to do, actually, is you're supposed to be here. Right, so when if the ball goes out wide to Mudryk over here, you can challenge and be there at the same time as the ball. And he can't split the pass through the gap there because you can intercept it. If you go over and stand with him, all he has to do is pass it where you're not and see if you're faster than him. Well, you're not faster than him, so what are you doing out over there? And even if you are faster than him, you're hoping that he doesn't get the jump on you, gets a little yard step on you, or does any type of mistake. This is like, if I was coaching under 14s and this happened at an under 14 level, I'd be mad. But this is the Premier League. This is someone who's playing at this level who doesn't understand this simple thing. And here you go, there's the ball played in, and there he's been all along out here doing God knows what, holding hands with this guy out here for no reason, and giving this massive pocket of space you've seen the whole time for him to be able to pass the ball into. Now Mudryk's all he's got to do is just tap it into the net box, which quite fair. Honestly, if you've got to put your money on it, you're putting your money on him missing. So yeah, there is that. Let's move it on a little bit, Bosh. And you can see the guy that was marking him, there's no one near him. The guy in the middle, central defender, he's coming over to cover him. Like, what are you doing? There's no need for you to be out there. There's understanding of yeah, but I've got to mark him. You don't stand next to people to mark him if they're 25, 30 yards away from the goal on the outside. There is no need. But again, it's just this complete lack of understanding of the basics of football. Mudryk's first touch takes him past the old wee bit defender, and now he's just got to slot it into the net box. The keeper's shape isn't quite good enough as well. He really should be up a little bit, shutting that angle down. He shows it to him. You can see it just from here. He shows him and just got to pass into that corner, mate, and he does. Awful defending. You can see why they're just at the bottom of the league, but it's just simple things. It's not complicated things. It's like, why are you standing out wide on the touchline with the player instead of in the middle of the field? The goal's in the middle of the field. That's where he's going to end up running. If he has the ball out wide over there, you don't care. It's just amazing that they don't understand these simple things. Okay, and talking about simple things, I want you to watch just this right here. Okay, so that, first off, is bad marking. I think it's Jackson actually marking for Chelsea here. That's terrible. I mean, it's absolutely shocking. The reason why is because the player's behind him. Basic defending again. You know what I'm talking about, under 14s getting things wrong? This is, again, a level of, I think it's worse than that. My under 10s wouldn't get this wrong if I was coaching the level of that. There's no way on this earth, right? So, if you're at any level and you're trying to mark a player and the player's behind you, here's a clue. You're not marking the player. And again, it's a free kick when everybody's up on the line, giving them the space to run into behind. What a shocker. Happens all the time. I yell about this every other week. If you have a high line, you give them all this space. That means you can play the ball into the space and all they've got to do is run on and hit it into the box. It's that simple. If you don't take the space away, what you can do then is run away from the goal and attack the ball and get rid of it. They don't seem to understand that, and they keep giving this space and they keep giving up goals in the Premier League week in, week out because of this simple reason. Now let's keep an eye on these guys right here as this ball comes floating in. As it goes, oh look, he's behind you, so you're not marking him. gets worse. It gets miles worse, by the way. Let's just move it on. Not only does he not go with him, he stands still, so he's completely and utterly not marking him. He gets a free header. He just lets the player go. He goes, go on then, mate. Have a goal. All right, mate. Don't worry. I will. And he just knocks it into the open net. It's like, this guy was marking him right here. 15, I think that's Nico Jackson. And it just doesn't bother. Like, you're playing a game of football and you just don't bother to mark the player at all whatsoever. You don't get goal side of him and you're getting paid God knows how much a week. It's awful at this level that you can let a player do that. And again, they're up on that high 18-yard line, which they shouldn't be. Just, it's awful all over. Let's get on to the next goal. Okay, so here we are. I think it's Hudson-Odoi out here wide. Ball's coming across. Can the defender get there in time for the ball? Yes, and put pressure on it. Yeah, he does that perfectly. Now, there's a couple of other issues we're going to talk about here because we've got the second defender really needs to be backing him up because he's 1v1 in front of the goal. And he's tried to do this about 3 times in the game. I think he's hit the post once. This game could have been, 3-2 or 4-2 either side, and no one would have batted an eyelid of who had won the game with the amount of chances both teams created. But this is a soft goal really to give away right here. When he receives the ball, though, you can see the defender's actually in a good defensive position. He's got there, and he's stopping him going on his right foot and smashing it across here because he's in the space that he wants to shoot into, right? Perfect. He's done his job well there because this guy's done this a couple of times so far in this game, and that's exactly where he wants to be. So if he tries to take a shot, he can block it. He doesn't need to move. Let's guess what he does. No, where are you going now? Where are you going now? Because you know now what you've just done is this little space here. You've just decided to open up this gap here for him to cut onto and smash it away. Now, you should have been reading that and taken a couple of steps forward so you can actually stop that from happening and then make sure that that shot, if he doesn't block it, you can. Now it just comes down to, are you going to get beaten 1v1? And guess what? Yeah, he does. Just like I was saying, he's cutting back on his right foot, but this guy's completely and utterly overextended now. He can't get back and block the shot because for some reason he's going to push him over. It's like, well, the ball's on his right foot. You know he's going to cut in on his right foot. Why are you going to his left? Where are you going? You were in a perfect position when you first started engaging him, and you overran the ball, you ran past it, and now he just gets to smash it into the net box. It's like, you did the right thing defending, and you chose, oh, no, let's screw it up now. It's just awful. I've got to stop saying it's just awful. Let's get on to the next goal. So this is shocking. Again, poor understanding of the game. Look, he's got his arm up, and we all know if you watch my channel what's about to happen in about 5 seconds. Someone is going to score a goal. Yay. So when he receives the ball here, this guy's job is to get there as fast as possible and put pressure on, not stand this far away. The reason, well, there's bunches of reasons for it, right? But the first most important reason, it means this guy can get a run at you, right? He can just race straight past you. As that ball is moving, you should have been moving towards him to try to pressure his first touch or make him make any sort of mistake whatsoever on this ball here. Okay? That doesn't happen. He's just sat back here, I don't know, hoping that he's not going to get beaten. Yeah. Now, Sterling's got all the time and space in the world because this guy just refused to put any pressure onto the ball. So he gets a couple of quick steps in. Now the defenders are reacting to what he's doing instead of making Raheem Sterling react to what they want to do. Totally different kettle of fish now. Now what's also happening as well, look, Sterling has got them facing their own goal and pushing them back. And as soon as he gets to a certain point, he's just going to cut back and knock it into the net box, in which he does. There's so many defenders here, but no one can challenge because that simple pass from here, rolling at baby pace out here, was not pressured. So now Sterling can just do what he wants, and he does. Let's move forward a bit. Bosh. You can see when he cuts it in, both players here are doing the exact same thing. He's not watching what he's doing, which obviously the player in front can't see the player behind. He doesn't have magic eyeballs in the back of his head, so he shouldn't be going down so hard to try down the line because he knows what this guy's doing. He really should be blocking on the inside. He's not. Now Sterling gets to pick his little shot, and quite frankly, it's a decent shot. He just whips it into the corner. Bosh does a great job of slotting it into the net box. So we're going to pick up Nottingham Forest here with a little ball in over the top from behind from the old Chelsea. And what I want you to watch is what the defenders are doing, right? Are they ball watching or are they actually marking players? That's super important at this level, or at any level, right? So as this ball goes, there we go. We can see what's happening. A player's drifted out here, and just like I was explaining in the first part of the video about you don't need to mark the player out wide. Well, you also have to be in shape. So you can see there's no real left back here. So there's no way that he can get out pressuring that guy because apparently this guy's gone on Johnny Walkabout, and those extra 5 yards there means he can't make the 5 yards back to that player there. He's completely not caught out of position, right? And that's massive. I mean, that's absolutely massive. That's why you can't do certain things and go on little walkabouts and leave players completely... Because you don't need to mark him, but you do need to be in your shape so you can get close enough when the balls get dinked over the top. They'd never be able to play that ball because you would have been able to cut it out, but you went on a bit of a walkabout. Now, I want you to watch these guys and then watch this player here. Right, let's have a little look. First off, if you've noticed, the first thing is this guy hasn't bothered to run as hard. Don't know who he is, but you can see that these two are still pretty much matching their pace for pace. However, he's dropped off 2 yards when he was completely in line with them. Now he's nowhere near enough to challenge this guy here. And he should, right, if he's lazy, I don't know what time it is in the game, how tired he is, absolutely fine. Tell your teammate there's a player behind him. Just tell him. Because he's completely and utterly ball watching. They're all ball watching. Every single one of them. No one's even had, a little slightest look around to see if there's any danger whatsoever on any other part of the field. And he hasn't alerted him because he's lazy, he hasn't got back, and he's lazy not to tell him. So when this ball starts coming across here, this defender actually outruns the ball. He outruns the ball, and if he was just a little bit smarter and a little bit slower, he would have seen there was somebody there he could have marked and he could have defended this goal. Just overall, the lack of awareness on the field from Nottingham Forest is shocking. And do you know who's supposed to help them do that? It's their manager. It's their coach on the sideline. He's supposed to be helping them at any point that any of these things are happening that you can be aware of. When that left back steps up 5 yards, he's already yelling at him to get back because he's going to get done with the ball in over the top. When those defenders start running back, he's got to be telling the other guy that, he's behind you, mark him. You can say all of these things really, really quickly. And you can say, oh, but Cash, there's a stadium of 20,000, probably 35, 40,000 in this case. Doesn't matter. I'm telling you now. Doesn't matter how loud the crowd is. They can always hear you as the coach. You can always hear your coach's voice. They're trained to. It's annoying. They hate it. It's like hearing your mum when you were a kid. You go, coming in for tea. You can always hear your mum's voice because you heard it so many times. It's the same as coaching. Other than that, I'll see you next time on Cash Yells at Premier League, you Muppets.